Welcome back, everyone. It's time for Game 5 between Cloud9 and 100 Thieves. The making of a reverse sweep is on our hands. C9 won Game 3. They won Game 4. 100 Thieves got to bounce back from 2 straight losses.
Who is going to sleep? Was it you? You? Huh? Who's thinking about going to sleep? Because you better stay up for this game. Game 5 here, baby. First Game 5 of 2021. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there.
Why not?
Not sure about the validity, but our tournament is so early in the year, and we're already getting this level of adaptation. I mean, if we would have stopped it at anything earlier, it looked like 100 Thieves going to steamroll this, just dominating Cloud9, but game after game here, and the last 2, Cloud9 have fought back. They have persevered, and now it's time to lay it on the line. Will they go back to more Moonstone champions, rely on scaling to heal for 5-on-5s later, or will they try, some more poke tools? The play, regardless from Sven, whether it was supportive champs, or hard carry champs, has been great. So they know they can rely on the bottom lane. Already small change here. Talia given up in exchange for the Renekton ban, denying that one from Someday. They don't want, Fudge to have to go into that again.
Immediately the exact same draft for these 2 teams. I'm curious how long it's going to go, because they're like, yeah, we won Jax Camille last time, no problem. We'll change
insta-locks all the way down.
Yeah, instead of insta-locking the set and moving it into the mid lane, they're going to grab Rel right off the bat. This is the champ they want for Huhi, and he has received 0 bans aside from Pantheon, and none of his champions have been taken away. He's like, nope, Rel is now what I want. This is how I beat Cloud9.
All right. I want to see it. The Aphelios is still available as well. Udyr taken up again for Blabber. He doesn't have any support right now. Usually we see it with, some sort of speed boost. In his own right, can be very speedy, and since he does have crowd control on his team, that can also be viewed as support, setup for these possible plays. But I personally detest picking Udyr into Jax, play this champion since Season 1. It's so annoying because every part of your kit is auto-attack based, and guess what? Counter-Strike negates it all. It's going to dodge TF gold cards, it's going to dodge claws, no bear slaps, no nothing gets through, so that's definitely one champion that 100 Thieves can rely on and will cause a thorn in the side of Cloud9.
And you're seeing the bans come through 100 Thieves. What have they learned? They have learned that Cloud9 with Sven on Senna is really scary. That man puts out damage. He will heal as much as a whole Moonstone Renewer would do from someone else on his team. It's pretty scary stuff. Meanwhile, trying to figure out the other really good aggressive champs that would work alongside Tristana, a champ that does not get enough respect this season, but is outstanding after all the crit items were buffed. Kraken Slayer has way better AD scaling on it. All the Zeal upgrades are a lot nicer. Tristana is outstanding, very good alongside Rel, because you can deliver the Rel stun, so yeah, definitely a scary champion to get rid of.
And I also like Tristana into teams that have Twisted Fate, so you can choose your all-ins if you are keeping track of the Twisted Fate, and you can go with the Rel, like you're talking about, as great synergy, because you can easily position the magnetic stun, but it also has the defensive properties. If you're keeping track of the Twisted Fate well, rocket jump as well as your ultimate, both very good.
All right, Misfortune again then for Sven. This can lead us into Seraphine as an option there. Seraphine support. We had seen, I believe it was FlyQuest, play it really, really well. I'm a huge fan of how strong that lane can be. And as long as you're holding on to summoners, Rel kind of has to flash to force engages on ranged champions. So it is a matchup you can actually feel comfortable in a lot of the time. So I would be a fan of seeing this one come out for Vulcan. We know his Bard was very good. There's another good champ with some solid setup. We'll see what comes through, though, as 100 Thieves have a Galio option if they wanted it. Ryze will be the pick, though, instead. Demonte, I think, 4 out of 5 games has some kind of teleportation move on his ultimate. I guess Set was the one where it wasn't and looked pretty good. And Vayne! Vayne is the lock-in for FBI.
And the big difference between, obviously, Galio and Ryze is, yes, it does also have the teleport. You have map transitional abilities. It's got way better 1v1 in the side lanes. So you have Jax and Ryze 1-3-1 with Talia as your crux in the middle, being able to wall people off, being able to pick people off, being able to try and answer the Twisted Fate. Hyper Vayne as well, though, Freak. Let's get it. With the Rel, you can also have a lot of combination plays. You can position the Attract, Repel, Stun very easily as well. But it's also good for knocking back and tumbling away from Udyr. The thing you have to worry about is very clearly going to be the Camille Galio combination, the Twisted Fate join in the bottom lane. All those annoying bottom lane parties of everybody coming down is going to be very difficult here for FBI.
Well, Vayne, it's going to be a fun one to watch for. This is going to be exciting overall. 16 games so far of Vayne in top regions this year, and she's 50-50. Huge Vayne fan, got the cleanse there for Demonte there as well. The Galio comes in to round out the composition, fair enough. Solid champion, a lot of globals, a lot of engaged tools for Cloud9, and they can all set up Sven's Misfortune. He's been timing those ults really well so far this series in the couple of games he's played the champion. It's all coming down to this. It's all coming down to Game 5. 100 Thieves have certainly been still playing the same sort of aggressive style. Cloud9 have settled into a style of their own.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the decisive game for this series. It's also going to be the decisive game for Vayne in pro play currently, because it's going to tip the scales either above or below the 50%. Let's get it. It's going to be two very different play styles for these two teams as well. Obviously, we talked about the 1-3-1 setup here. They're going to try and split the map for the Jax, for the Ryze, make those plays without getting caught by all of the globals. Twisted Fate, Perxier, he had a great game last game on Twisted Fate for Cloud9. They're going to need another one from him here.
All right, FBI using the game plan of don't buy your trinket, just leave base and it comes automatically. Saves him a click. It's really optimal gameplay. The cooldown doesn't change anyway, so I guess you might as well not buy a trinket. Which used to not be true. It used to actually have a different cooldown if you didn't buy it, because it would go on cooldown when you bought the item. That's been gone for a while though, so whatever, you can save a click. It's fine regardless. Just something, something I used to see, right? Something I used to like play around. Like I would always buy my trinket first before I bought potions or Adorans because I wanted my ward sooner just in case.
It's in your muscle memory now.
My second ward, yeah, and now it's actually useless. There's no gameplay at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, we still have the switching of trinkets gameplay. Once again, dropping your defensive ward, then switching over to your sweeper. By the way, again, highly recommend this for Udyr, especially because you can just do your full power clear before your Scuttle Crab even spawns. So it's really nice to have your sweeper ready to go. Udyr can just make plays right after the first clear, use your flash very aggressively to trade flashes, blow flashes on your enemies, or even be able to chase them down, since he does have the phase rush, and you just have to get to them and land those autos first. Delayed invade is not seen yet. But
that word is late. They don't know.
Yeah, but I mean,
on the way out. Yeah. They know him on the way out, so it's going to be fine. Like, they're going to know that Closer did this. Nice sweep by Huhi, of course, spots it out. But yeah, there was a really clever play, because Cloud9 with Blabber's Sweeper knocked down the top side ward and gave Fudge and Perks the XP so that they can get level 2 off of the first wave. So really clever stuff there. But because of that, 100 Thieves are saying, well, that's your play. We're going to do an invade on the bottom side. And Closer's taking a whole bunch of caps down right now, right? This is going to be pretty solid. Sven trading back with FBI. Supports trade back and forth as well. And now you can see as Closer has already taken down 2 camps, he can path towards his left side jungle and poach even more as Sven takes some big hits as well. Now Huhi's very slow. That's going to hurt a fair bit. But yeah, Closer should be able to like grab his own blue or something. Or you can see this, he's actually baiting it. He walked over. Sorry, I just keep looking at the minimap because bot's still fighting. Sven is ignited. Sven is running away. He's going to just barely die. I should have been watching the whole time. FBI plays it perfectly. Vulcan's in danger. He will stay alive. A lot was going on that I really care about, but either way, it is 100 Thieves playing better in the bot 2-on-2.
All right, Ward. Ward is going to see him, still has to flash. My goodness, the Venus setup, Freak. This is it, the dream scenario. Now there are no summoner spells for either AD carry on the bottom half of the map. And Blabber, because of the opening, doesn't have a lot of territory to work with as you're going over with his small camps being taken away. Just going to have to finish up on his own wolves. He's going to be behind. Expect more focus on the bottom side of the map. What a great engage right there. The Rel stun still able to go off after Sven's flashes because he was able to proc it. So then it's close enough to lock him in. They follow it up there by FBI. No hesitation, and they get the first blood.
Yeah, I mean, that is a little sloppy by Cloud9 to stay in range. Level 2 is definitely going to go away from them. But, of course, a good job by 100 Thieves to grab this one. Now that we have... No, we don't have time. There's a fight in the top side now. Fudge has to jump away. He will get away from this gank. The part that was so cool about Closer was he showed going to left jungle. He went into mid lane, said, I'm going to take my blue. It's too late. This is incredible. He's on his second tier turret. What even is this? Cloud9. This game is just too hectic. I want to talk about jungle pathing, and you're just killing people left and right.
Too bad, Freak. Honestly, we were looking for punishes on bottom side. I did not expect it to be at the tier 2 turret, but Blabber goes hard. Flashes from him and Vulcan since there's no sums on FBI. And hey, you got the first blood, but look at your CS, buddy. Sven is able to get another minion wave in. He's going to finish this one off, plus the cannon as well, and get off the recall.
Yep, wave going to be cleared. Sven's out of mana. That doesn't matter, though. He's going to get a really nice recall out of this one. Pretty much almost a Noon Quiver money, or at least the components of. Should feel fairly comfortable, and poor FBI just on double longsword. So, yeah, big oof there. Top gets pushed in, but you can see with not a lot of interaction, Someday is very far ahead topside yet again.
Yeah, and again, it is Blabber starting on his top quadrant of the map too. So we already talked about all the trades in the last game where, Camille, if you can't get your auto off through a Counter-Strike, you're not going to proc your own adaptive shield and your trade is screwed. But, Blabber starting red, clearing towards the bottom as well, and then showing twice, both mid and bottom, means that he was also operating under the assumption that Someday is going to try and take advantage as much as he can because they've got a lot of info on his jungler's position.
The tier start for Demonte going pretty well. Already 105 mana onto that one. May easily stack this one. Obviously, mana itself is a damage stat for Ryze, so you can kind of make up for the lack of AP on something like a Doran's Ring, and it's not a problem. Bot lane, you can see, is a very clear 10 CS lead or so as the wave will get thinned out and claimed by Zen without much issue. So yeah, bot lane's going to feel pretty comfortable on the Cloud9 side. Hunter Thieves, though, still playing towards their arguably biggest win condition. That is still the side lane Jax. He is still very scary. And Fudge, he is down 2 levels right now. This is horrible to deal with. Gets to level 5, but without the ulti, you're still not that safe against the dive. But because Blabber is there, they have to call off the dogs. They can't go for much more, so at least gets to catch a bit of farm back.
Yeah, Udyr can't do anything without flash to Taliyah, but it also creates a stalemate because then Taliyah can't go for the dive. So Blabber just showing himself, stare down there, does have to walk away, but provides Fudge the ability to clean up the much-needed minion wave at his tower because that is going to get painful quickly. Twisted Fate level 6 now, though, 4 perks. Let's see if they can actually set it up again towards the bottom side. Still no flash for FBI, but he does have the cleanse available unless he used it in the last little engagement. So I think he should at least still have that. Still, the setup is going to be very scary, especially since Blabber is transitioning over to bottom half, but so is Closer.
Closer's here, who he does have a flash if he needs it. W comes in, cannot quite get the flip back. Vulcan now going to be the target. It's a taunt onto 2. Big damage on FBI, and he's going to go down. Sven lands the auto attack. Gold at work, and now Demonte has to run away, but he's slowed again, and Blabber's here. Perks is going to claim the kill. C9, 2 for 0 in the bottom lane.
Yeah, that Twisted Fate, as soon as he hits 6, you have to have that on your mind. He and Closer will do their best to clean this up, but the damage is done. Demonte goes down in the aftermath as well. Cloud9 off to the Dragon to start stacking.
I'll correct that it's a 2 for 1. Of course, Vulcan did die, losing his life for that play, but very much something you type worth in all chat because those are a couple of great kills.
And again, okay, Twisted Fate Ultimate will get popped immediately. They're already transitioning down towards the bottom half, but we've got action on live.
More action. Fudge is a flash away from Someday. Vulcan will not have the damage. He's not going to win this one, but Someday not going to go for much more of a chase either. Cooldown's coming back soon. 200 health is almost within the realm of possibility for a Galio, even if he is support, but Someday is still healing back up. He's got a Vamp Scepter. No more plays down there. Fudge, though, still losing his ultimate, losing his flash, and losing this wave as he has to walk back to lane.
Yeah, that's definitely a bad sign if Someday is already able to fight his way out of a Hextech Ultimatum set up gank as the Galio came over, and Fudge has to run himself away, barely escaping with now a flash discrepancy. We see, there's a ping onto Vulcan, so he must have been spotted in his tricky play. You can see on the minimap he's just hovering up there in a brush, but a blue ping went down here, 400 Thieves.
Oh,
there it is. That's a ward.
He's hatching a ward. And he's like, you know what? Yeah. I think he would have been seen going through those brushes anyway. Now he's like, okay, I'm just going to show. It's fine. No plays, whatever. Clear the wave out. Cloud9 with a lot of control. Topsiders are dueling one over there. They're going to start on the Rift Herald here as well. A lot of priority on that one. They had already claimed the Dragon from the earlier play, so C9 not only up in gold, they're up in farm in a lot of these lanes. They're going to get a lot of global like neutral pressure here as well, right? The Dragon's going to be stacking. Herald can mean a turret kill before too long. If they summoned it, it would just kill top lane, but looks like he's going to wait for a second there. Someday waiting around.
Yeah, Someday in a dangerous spot. They know that this is definitely his weak side. Doesn't have any business snooping around trying to get experience or gold out of this side of the map because they already, as soon as they saw Vulcan sticking around on that ward, sent Closer into the enemy jungle, trying to get some room off of bottom side. Even with all of that, yeah, Rift Herald charge does get off, and they get a huge chunk of damage on it at least.
I think they could have stayed because they had Blabber nearby. They have TF ult up in about 3 seconds. Demonte's been marked, and the dual lane's still down there. I think they could have legitimately killed top lane tier 2 there on the play. Flash gold card comes in. Demonte has his own flash, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to flash, and it won't matter. Blabber's on top of you. It doesn't do anything. He's going to go down, and Cloud9 off to a great start in this game.
All you have to do is get on top of him once with Udyr if you're running phase rush, and you will be able to follow. Demonte goes down immediately. He didn't have enough time to proc his own phase rush, so even after flashing, no move speed for him to get away, and that is just good locking of CC here. They layer it. Perks immediately flashes. Blabber immediately follows. They have the damage to do it, and now this is 2 kills on the Twisted Fate. With a stopwatch ready, so we expect a pretty deep play here from Perks with ult and cleanse available. I would not go for the Jax. It is still pretty hard to lock down Someday, and I don't expect him to overextend considering his turret was taken, but looks like he is greeting for another wave.
Blabber's on the way over. Here comes Twisted Fate as well. What can they immune? You got to kind of cycle it a little bit. Goes into melee range, tries to bait out the dodge, does so. Gold card's going to land after the cleanse, and that's going to be a CC chain. But Someday is very, very lethal, and he cannot get the kill in time. Fudge gets the damage across as Perks is immune. Someday the 1v3 cannot make it happen.
I really think that was greedy. I did not expect him to push another wave. He does it, though, right into the waiting arms of Cloud9, and now it's Ven who has to run.
Closer doesn't go for the ulti over the wall, doesn't go for the play on his Ven, but who he will try. Nah, that flash is not going to be enough. He even burned the ultimate. It's not going to happen. Vulcan shows up for a knockup. Demonte's here, but is it going to even matter? A lot of damage on Vulcan. He flashes the way Ignite is on, but he will live through the last tick. And there's already a 2 for 0. FBI going to be attacked as well. And Cloud9 are well on their way to the reverse sweep.
Mistakes on both sides of the map from 100 Thieves. First, Someday goes for the extra wave, gets pinched, and then Cloud9 have time to reset back to the bottom side and punish their own weak side play here. Vulcan goes in, no hesitation. This guy locks them both up on Galio expertly, even throws down the exhaust and is able to survive with his flash out to the top side. This freak is all Cloud9. With the way this series has gone, it is just completely reversed. 100 Thieves go so deep on this. Vulcan is ready to turn it around. He throws down the exhaust. They call teleport in for Perks. They're doing it again.
Someday has to flash out of this one. There might be a gold card, but it's not going to find any targets, so they're going to walk away, but that is still another big summoner lost. A Galio ult traded in, sure, but now Someday is flashless, and it makes him an even easier target next time. We already know top lane turret died. That was the Herald summon back at 9 minutes and change, so that's already gone. But the gold difference is 4,000. The next Drake has spawned right now. This shouldn't go to anyone but Cloud9. They own every single lane.
Yeah, and look at that. He has to leave another minion wave. Fudge had to leave the giant minion wave. Doesn't get to push the extra one here, and this is really starting to hurt. 96 to 51 CS for topside, and Someday gets to pick up 3 waves on the top side of the map. Cloud9 don't care, though. Objectives all day. Fudge, sacrifice. Fudge is definitely, again, the poor one on the block for Cloud9. And yet, it's team game, my friend. They're going to be able to transition with more picks using their Twisted Fate ultimate. Perks is back up already. And they're going to have to do it without the Camille pushing. But they've been able to succeed thus far with it, with just the Galio and Twisted Fate.
been working beautifully, and he's got enough damage that he can, kill a backliner no problem. Like, the chunks are there. He's just, not going to have a great time dueling with the Jax over there. It's, 50 CS probably makes up for the 2 kills. He wasn't part of a lot of that turret damage, so Fudge didn't even get plates to his name, despite the fact that top lane turret's the one that died. So, the 1v1's going to be tough. That can still be an avenue for Thieves to get a victory, but they got to kind of dig their way out from a pretty rough one. 23-minute Dragon Soul is a possibility. That's going to be a tough one to deal with.
Certainly say that one again, because this time around, Cloud9 have loads of crown control. It's crazy to watch the progression. Well, Ward.
Whoa. Every time, Cloud9 just happens to know that who he's trying. He's going to kite away with the Rocket Belt. They're just like, I'll bait it again. Don't worry, try it. Nope, I'm still baiting you. You're not going to get onto me. You're not going to find the CC. They might find the rest of this team fight, though, as FBI shows up. Blue Smite comes in. They grab the blue buff. Perks has to walk backwards. FBI is in, and FBI is going to find that kill. One answered back, though. The jungler down on 100 Thieves' side, as now Vayne wears the buffs because she killed Perks, who got the kill. So double buff Vayne, buff transfer complete, and Golden FBI, probably the best spot it's going to go.
Yeah, so they're going to send Vayne bottom to try and get even more. Damonte gets caught, though.
Damonte's going to run out of health instantly. Sven's there for the Gale Force auto to guarantee it. He's on a killing spree.
All right, that's a little bit more than they needed to give over. They were going to try and funnel some more money into the Vayne. CM bottom side will be able to trade towers. Fudge having dealt with the remnants of tier 2 tower while left alone during the rest of the team fighting off in mid lane. But that is Cloud9 opening up so much of this map. They just got tier 2 on top side and tier 1 mid. Now they can play even more aggressively. They just need this Camille ultimate, honestly, to lock people in place for the Galio ultimate. They're going to have a lot of supportive members jumping on top with Fudge. So even though he is fairly far down in CS, does have the Trinity Force and does provide the ultimate lock-in. Good movement here from Perk as he's able to kite out, as you're talking about on Huhi, and then they know they've got the re-engage. It does get a little bit messy, though. As Perks goes in for the gold card, they do get the stun, smite down, and immediately kill off Closer for the double buffs. Perks is going to have to die as well, since the teleport for 100 Thieves, they go really, really deep into the Cloud9 territory. But this one from Damonte walks straight through. Yep. He knows both members were just seen, and Vulcan gives him the punish, as you should.
Yeah, that's sloppy. 1-4. We were singing his praises earlier on in the series, and he was a big part of the victories, but it has fallen off a little bit, at least in this game there. You're not expecting a lot out of Set, who's getting third priority on waves, but now it's starting to fall away. Cloud9 winning almost everywhere here. Someday kind of the saving grace on the 100 Thieves side, but C9 have now knocked down turret number 4. I mean, aside from 3 kills that have been, well picked up, there hasn't been a single objective gained by 100 Thieves all game long. Bot lane turret's a bit low, and that's it.
Cloud9 with quite the evolution over this series, Freak. Think back to the first couple of games,
Yeah.
They're playing such a different style. Multiple moonstones, lots of shields, kiting back, just grouping up, very light on the engage, very light on the hard CC. And yet, evolving to this, their peak, kind of returning to form from what we saw in Lock-In earlier on, now running the classic, the go-to, Camille Galio, and then Twisted Fate pivoting from mid. They just have so many possibilities with all these towers down, looking to push up the side lanes and look for possible TF plays. We saw earlier, Perks just use that Twisted Fate ultimate to even chase Someday off of the tower to go get this minion wave. They weren't even threatening for one of the picks. Because they have so much control right now, you can see already moving all of their vision up into the blue quadrant jungle of 100 Thieves. They can afford to use it on stuff like that. There's definitely value in the double stacked wave at the tower that Perks was able to walk and go get.
What's kind of incredible to me is the kill participation on Cloud9. A bunch of globals, right? A jungler running around the map, and it's Sven who has the highest KP on the squad. Everything
Gale
on Cloud9.
Global.
Just, yeah, sure, he gets another couple hundred range to auto-attack someone at, fair ranges. Sven just, he is the reason Cloud9 is good. I think he is just above and beyond the top performer. And certainly, look, Blibber's had some good smites. The man's got diamond hands. It's been beautiful. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if Sven can make it happen, it happens. If Sven is not there to carry it, it just doesn't seem to go through. So he has been huge. The MF for the second game in a row is looking great. 3-1-4, 20 CS lead. He was donated to the turret. By the way, Dragon number 3 is coming down, so Fudge is going to start that one up. That's not going to be contested, and that means that in 5 minutes' time, At about 23-20 is a climactic fight where 100 Thieves can't just give away anything more.
And remember, this is kind of designed here where 100 Thieves, they want to be able to operate from a position of power with the Jacks, but because Cloud9 have so much extra gold for their team and 3 dragons stacked, you don't get to apply the pressure with an ideal 1-3-1 situation and then have to react to these Twisted Fate ultimates. It is Cloud9 that get to set up first, pushing out the waves on the side, setting up at the objective first, and them getting to make the call. So let's see if 100 Thieves have it in them. They started out so strong, always looking for these practice plays, but here we go, Twisted Fate in.
Trying in mid, and there's nothing that FBI can do. The flash was still down for a few more seconds, and now they're going to reveal Huhi, which means next gold card. Perkz lets it lapse and goes across to blue again. Was nearly in range to throw that one, but doesn't find the stun regardless. But look at this. The kill is already in. It's 5v4 with a gold lead. It's basically 6v4 based on the gold difference here, and that means Shelly is in to knock down mid lane, and they can go for the inhibitor turret no problem as well.
All right, no reason to stop there. Charge number 2 should get off. Nobody's answering Fudge, so C9 4 squad in mid does need to play a little bit more cautiously. They back up. They don't want to overextend at that tower and can just cover.
All right. Going to even leash. Thank you very much, Vulcan. Leashes that one out. Perkz helps as well. Fudge going to be given some golden XP to try to catch up in his matchup. It is still a 70 CS difference in top lane. I do feel bad for Someday, who is so thoroughly destroying his lane opponent that it just doesn't matter here. It's the rest of the team who's doing so much better on Cloud9. Every engage is on point. 8 out of 11 KP now for Sven down there. He's part of all the big plays. Got, helped get that shut down on FBI as well. And you don't look like you're in danger, but you are.
Yep. Twisted Fate ultimate, very annoying for Vayne. And even with the cleanse, look at that damage. Burst damage from Perkz plus the Sven MF ultimate right over the top. Yep. Cleanse is not going to get him out. He had to instant flash to get out of range as well. But Lichbane is completed for Perkz, and that's the reason why.
Big damage. Collector was there for Sven as well. I believe he popped it with Collector Make It Rain. I'm not even sure the ult landed. I think it was just Collector Make It Rain was enough to get the kill at 5%. But I mean, either way, right? He's big. Sven's going to get a lot of kill credit. That's what the nice thing about Collector is if you're a champion who does consistent low bits of damage, you never overkill with Collector. As soon as they're at 5%, Make It Rain claimed it. A wave of bullet time claimed it. You don't, have those overkill situations where it's like, oh, yeah, Camille Q does 1,200. And here we go. Grouped up towards mid.
It's just the pings. They had pings to go for it. I wonder who called it off because Perkz did pop ultimate and they had a bunch of assist pings. Looks like, though, they've got extra member down bottom, so they're just buying time for Fudge. No reason to force.
Sven reveals the brush. Blabber's now here. And, okay, Fudge on the other side of the map does have teleport, trying to catch up in farm. Still the 70 difference, as someday will catch the bottom wave, and he should be just fine wave clearing under that turret. Playing a bit back. Knows that TF and MF and Galio can show up soon, so has to play it a bit defensively. And indeed, until his teammates are there, has to drop a little bit of farm. And drops 2 CS, gets some XP, and Negus has shoved this one back.
I also think Perkz has been using the Twisted Fate really, really well. Very intelligently trying to pressure the double-stacked waves. Transition with Blabber as well to give the Udyr the extra power to go for these. Gold card is such a big enabler for that champion. We saw the double instant flashes towards mid, even on a target that has flash, finding purchase. And when the Twisted Fate is able to open up the map like that for the team, has done a lot for Cloud9. Now, Turbo Chem Tank for Blabber with his flash available. Also really, really fearsome for starting this out. Camille Galio, Twisted Fate, obviously online, and the Realm Warp ultimate used to check just for vision there from Demonte.
Yeah. One thing I've got to point out that I really love as we look at Demonte, I want to look back at the Baron pit because ward positioning is actually really valuable. The wards just outside the pit do not get spotted by control wards. If you have a control ward and you want to see wards in the back corner, they have to be inside the pit to spot them, which means they cannot see the wards around the outside, which means you can kind of get a lot of free vision. But now here comes the dive. Triple ulti comes across, bullet time over the top, but it's not doing all that much damage. Blabber runs away, the lock-in shield's good. Red card sets up a bunch of slows, and the chase is in. A triple. Is that another quadra? Is that another penta? Perkz will find the stun. Is it the back-to-back pentas? Let him have it. Back-to-back penta kills for Sven. The Bud Light Ace. 100 Thieves are going home.
Oh my goodness, Sven collects them all, Freak. They set him up for the last one too. This one handed over. Cloud9. The reverse sweep is coming to fruition here. It is a reality. Ocean Soul picked up by Cloud9. And that is a team with grit. They have worked through so much this series. 100 Thieves giving it a very, very good showing in the first couple of games, but C9 never giving up.
Not at all. They had some really, really tight fights, some really tough situations. I don't hate who he trying. I think you had to go for something. You were bleeding out of the map. Someday was around, so you can use your most fit member to do something in the battle. And it just wasn't enough. Too much space was built. Sven got the kite back, land the ultimate, and there's nothing else you can do anymore. It was just too much of a lead. Everything just went so well. Your 100 performance play is Sven getting his second penta of the series.
All right, he channels the big ultimate over top. Someday is exhausted. He waits out the counter-strike. Gale Force is in, able to get the shot there. Double up and picks up all four immediately. Then everybody just wants to stand around, make sure he gets the last one.
Hit S.
He's able to get it, and he deserves it. This man has put in so much work this series for Cloud9. Guess what, Spoil? That's going to be most people's vote for MVP of this series. 100 Thieves still trying.
Flash, triple taunt, bullet time. Kill number one. Looking at the re-engage now for the rest of it. A Galio smash over the top. He is quite low, and it will be a kill taken by Blabber. There's number three, and it's Someday running away as the last one. It's just going to be the rest of the team kiting. Blabber goes for the duel. They're going to bring a taunt for good measure. A couple of knockouts come in. The ace comes through. Vulcan, he deserves some kill credit. He gets a shutdown there himself. 21-4. This game is over. Another Bud Light ace. Cloud9 are just going to close down the game now.
Well, they're going to get their purple buffs. Wild Fudge does his work on this inhibitor. All right, Q1, boom, Q2. Baron going down at the same time. They're racing each other, Freak. Who gets their objective first? Fudge wins!
Fudge.
Woo!
Fudge does.
Woo! And the crowd.
Fudge not only wins the series, he wins the race, gets his own team. 3-0-2 on Camille. Flawless.
We already are building up towards such an epic final here, too. Because people were assuming that Team Liquid, with how great they looked at the beginning, were going to waltz their way into the finals. But we have seen some resurgences here, some twists already with 100 Thieves going down now in a very desperate spot versus Cloud9. You know, same thing definitely could happen on the other side of the bracket. So building up, I think Cloud9, biggest takeaway for me for this series is that they just look so much better when they don't forfeit early lane phases, when they do start out with some priority, when they have hard CC to be able to force this with.
Oh,
once again, here we go.
Speaking of, the Justice Punch comes in, the double taunt comes across, Blabber just sitting in the front line, he's going to ignore a lot of this damage. FBA gets a bit low, oh my word, that is a crit and a half, and down goes 2 more kills.
All right, they're not done there. Blabber's on the chase with the extra speed, gold card out.
Okay, stopwatch, taunts easy. Yep, he's going down as well. Easy pickup there for the Misfortune. Dodge's going to block the gold card, goes back in for a triple stun. Good damage on a Vulcan. He'll drop to the turret. It's a desperate play. It's at least a kill or two, but it's still the ace. Again, for the 3rd time in a row, Cloud9, shockingly, will win the team fight. The Bud Light ace. Perk's going to take the turrets because he can. Who cares? The waves are coming in. That's the game. That's the reverse sweep, and the 5th was the most convincing of all. 2 pentakills for Sven. Cloud9, the better team. They're going to make it to the finals, and we will await Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses tomorrow.
Freak, it's still January. We are in the first month still of 2021, and already we're getting Game 5s, going the distance, reverse sweeps, delivering here. Lock-in tournament definitely provides the excitement. Happy to have the new format.
2021 has been such an improvement over the previous year in ways I can't even count, and it's starting off with banger series as well. Cloud9 to the moon. If you bought the stonks, they're going up and to the right. It's been beautiful stuff so far. Sven has been just outstanding. Certainly his supporting cast has been very good as well. It was good to see them actually just refocus back on Fudge and say, okay, we will let you into the Camille matchups. We will give you the help you need to sustain for a while, and then the playmaking can happen. The TF steals for Perks looked really good, and hey, team fighting prowess for Sven, right? The Senna was outstanding, the Misfortune equally good, and the whole squad came together for a really, really good reverse sweep.
They are definitely going to have a lot of footage to review, though, because no matter who they face, in the finals, it is going to be difficult. You're not going to get an easy matchup in the top lane, regardless of who shows up there. So Cloud9, yes, they are super happy with this reverse sweep. Yes, they also still have a lot to review.
They do, and that's going to be what it's going to be about. Is who are they up against? Can Impact do the same kinds of things if Renekton is banned away? Alfar, we already know, has been a truly incredible performer on the TL side, and that is where the glaring lens is Fudge, the rookie on Cloud9, stepping into some pretty big shoes of Licorice, who within about 6 months of his rookie year became one of the best top laners in NA, and held that title for a couple years in a row. And Fudge has to do that. His early forays have not been incredible, to be completely honest. Is he against some of the best top winners? Of course, yes, he is. But he has been, the weakest early game member on C9. His mid game's fine, but that is a glaring hole. But the strong points have been just as good. Blabber's Udyr is outstanding. His other champions, still very good as well. Vulcan has not missed a beat. Sven has gotten better and better and better. I think this is some of the best league he's been playing of his entire career, and the man has trophies. Like, he is really, really good and still outstanding. So I'm excited to see more of what this Cloud9 has in store for us.
And excited to see what we've got tomorrow with Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses coming up as well.
All right, so after the break, we'll be joining Latigris and Sven for our Verizon post-game interview. Don't go anywhere.
I didn't order a pizza.
I know, but that Parker promo saved me so much on my insurance. Brought you a little something special.
Parker, State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
You're the man, man.
And you want the real deal? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to the LCS, everyone, here for a Verizon post-series interview with none other than Cloud9's bot liner, Sven. Here's the thing, dude, we wanted a 5-game series, but you also gave us 2 separate pentas in that series. How are you feeling in general alongside the rest of the team after it all?
I mean, I'm happy that we won, but I don't think we played super well. We spent a lot of time practicing enchanters like Lulu and Seraphine, and we played very horrible with them, so I felt really bad about that. But I'm happy that I got, 2 pentakills, despite dying lane in game 5. It feels bad when you lose lane and then you win because your teammates are better than theirs, but I think I played well after the first def lane. So overall, happy we won, but there's so much to work on before we play against TL, or the winner of TL EG.
Well, you're already making your assumptions of who you might be facing off next. But looking into the series a bit deeper, you're saying how things did get off to a rough start, obviously with an 0-2 deficit. But what was it? Was it the fact that you were all just trying to do a bunch of different types of compositions, or was there anything else in play there for that rocky start?
No, I mean, we really played what we thought was the best, draft in game 1, 2, and 3. And even though we lost game 1 and 2, I really thought it was the best draft. I also think we had the better draft in every single game. Honestly, I think we just played worse and they executed really well. And they play really well against the enchanters because they really know how to use flanks and they fight at neutrals, like the dragons especially, really well. So I think props to them. But no, we actually thought it was our best draft and we just played it really poorly, I think.
Speaking of fighting at neutrals, it was kind of in that game at number 3 when the Baron plays came through that felt like it was that turning point for Cloud9, then eventually getting that W and the ones to follow. From there on out, was it just a momentum that you were building from that allowed the team to pull it together?
I mean, I think looking at game 5, it felt like we outscaled mentally in a way, where like one it dove us behind our towers in game 5 at like 10 minutes. They were like in between 2 tier 2s, Ryze ulted and Rail flashed and missed every ability. I was like, whoa, they're ending so hard. And I thought, okay, it's over because they're done. The momentum was just carried over for game 3 and 4, and it felt like they gave up in a way. Once Vayne died bot at level 4 or whatever, after he killed me, he based, and my jungler and my support killed him 2v1 while Rail's mid. I was like, okay, nice. It's safe. I can play the game. So I felt like, yeah, they lost, I don't know, the momentum a lot. So, yeah.
But one thing that did make Game 5 interesting from the perspective of Cloud9 is you were obviously playing very role in that bot lane position, but you had 2 semi-global ultimates available from your teammates there in the support role and the mid lane. As the carry for your team, how do you feel having that utility available facilitates the way that you want to play?
So Mithy had this statistic that said that 2 globals or more wins the game in like 75% of the games. So 2 globals is a must-have if you want to win the game, and TB doesn't count. So yeah, 2 globals are really OP. I think TF in general is really strong, and just TF and Galio and Camille kind of combos are really easy to play, and they're really hard to play against if you don't play well. So it works well in a region where the game isn't so polished, in any right. So yeah, globals are OP.
Well, all right, globals are OP, having that kind of map control. Last question I have for you. It seems like you are already assuming that you will be playing against Team Liquid in the final. So with that being said, if it is the case, how do you think you're going to fare against their bot lane, considering them, you, and 100T are pretty much the bot lanes everyone's talking about?
I mean, I'm hoping we play against EG because I think their bot lane is worse than TL's. TL's bot lane is pretty good right now, especially core JJ. But I think given that we scrim both teams this week, I think TL is better. I think that EG is like they're peaking in the offseason. You call it like that. I think EG looks really good right now, but they will look worse and worse because I think they're easy to figure out and they have less, I don't know, wide range of strengths, whereas TL can play to each lane and each side and play more champions than EG can. And EG is very easy to figure out. So yeah, I think TLS is better. Unless they get cheesed by some weird Yasuke champions, then I think EG will not win.
Well, cheese or not, we'll have to wait till tomorrow to find out which team ends up being the victors. Sven, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
We had a full 5 games here today in our first best of 5 series of the year. Let's close things out at the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, the Tigers. Honestly, I'm still reeling a little bit from how this series ultimately concluded. Not only did Cloud9 complete the reverse sweep, 3-2 fashion, fantastic to see them show that kind of fight. Ultimately, High and the rest of Cloud9, they're up on the moon, baby, cashing in those stocks right now while the rest of us sit here, us lowly earthlings, looking at our losses. But they just, and the way they did it, I think, is in some ways how I'm still a little bit baffled about it. I'm going to go to you first. You had it right. What's your ultimate take on the series?
Well, you see, 100 Thieves was winning until they didn't. That was a famous quote from one of our friends. I believe Scar said that before. But yeah, basically, 100 Thieves were doing really well game 1 and 2, and then they kind of faltered in game 3. Once they lost game 4, their mentality is gone, and you can tell it by this game. Like Sven said in his interview, you're seeing 100 Thieves do these insane plays, trying to like dive between tier 1 and tier 2 turret spot lane, and that just means that your mentality is gone. And like when you see that as a player, like, okay, this game is over, that gives you the confidence to play however you want. And how do you lose when the enemy team is tilted, right? So makes it tough.
Yeah. I think there was a change in the comps. They started leaning more towards the globals, like you heard Sven just say in the interview. I think the macro really broke down. Like Hai was saying, there's a play where the C9 moved their bot side up to the top lane, and 100 Thieves just didn't react and had Huhi hovering bot the entire time. And they got like 2 turret plates. Eventually they got so frustrated, this is the play that they just decided to brute force because they had got nothing done while the top side had gotten 2 turrets and had killed Someday and stuff. And it's just a total disaster. And this was kind of the backbreaker on the series, I think.
A little more evidence to that 100 Thieves wasn't exactly thinking clearly is we saw there was a ton of missed skill shots in some of these fights. The Rel W was very rarely connecting at crucial moments. And I think one of the biggest mistakes of this game was that the Ryze did not bring cleanse against Twisted Fate, Udyr, Galio. They have a very short-range comp that composes of Jax, Vayne, and Ryze. Vayne brought the cleanse because he knew that if you fight into Galio and you get short range, you are going to get taunted or you're going to get gold carded. The fact that Ryze did not have cleanse caused him to have several deaths in the mid lane, and after those, what can you do? The game is over now. You don't have cleanse for your team fight, and you're not ahead enough to be able to win the side lane.
And if you didn't know it was over from some of the early plays, the second pentakill of the series in back-to-back games for Sven's would definitely be the nail in the coffin that anyone needed to see to understand that it would be ultimately C9 that takes the series. But Hai, I'm curious your take on the mid lane, the development of the mid lane matchup as well over the course of the series, because in games 1 and 2, you're definitely looking at Demonte for totally controlling the map and getting the better of that matchup. But as the series went on, it feels like Perkz might finally be warming up.
I said this earlier. Demonte was doing really well in game 1 and 2. I actually thought he was winning lane and outroaming the map, pressuring better, doing better teleports, etc. But I think Perkz finally woke up and realized that, there's a best of 5 series that's kind of important. And he should probably start trying a little bit. And he stopped playing Yone. He started to perform a lot better in game 3, 4, and 5. I don't really know what the change was, whether it's a mentality thing or maybe they started playing differently. I don't know. Because it's not like they started just like 2v2ing mid or like 1v1ing mid either, right? He just started playing better. How that works, I'm not entirely sure. But Demonte played super well game 1, 2, and 3. So I'm not going to like rag on him or anything like that. It's just team diff at the end of the game, right?
Right.
For game 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, and I definitely think the global easy follow-up champions for Perkz have been a little bit better. His jungler's playing great. Blabber's been phenomenal. The bot lane's been incredible for C9. And when it's more about following up with them, he seems to obviously be in a better position to follow actually on those plays. So I think the globals and the more assist-oriented champions right now, it might be a little bit of a crutch this early on in the tournament, and hopefully they branch out from here. But I think it's totally fine to lean into that play style, given that you have one more best of 5 before you go into a long season. Like try and get that dub this weekend, and then you can build out the play styles from here.
Totally. And while Perkz definitely warmed up throughout the series, if you're going to pinpoint anybody on the side of Cloud9 to have brought it home for the squad, it can be none other than Sven, the Pentakill King himself, taking home today's Mastercard Player of the Series. Here he is in the zone. I mean, Sven's always in the zone, to say the least, but this is a guy who I feel like when he knocks down a Penta, doesn't blink. I feel like he probably just says, okay, end the game. You know what I mean?
I think a large reason why he got player of the series is he got 2 pentas, right? But even outside of that, I just want to say never in any of these games that I felt like he was a liability or really getting caught out of position. For all the other players on C9, you can see where they like made mistakes or like they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sven rarely made any mistake, even in the games that he's losing. And the games that he's winning, he looks amazing in it. So I think this is a very well-deserved player of the series. He gets 2 pentas, is never a liability in any of the games that they play, and looks like a hard carry in the games that they win. So I think this is a very well-deserved player of the series for Sven.
Forgive me, game 3. I'm just looking at that damage per minute number. 1,200 damage per minute.
It's
Who's
Senna.
Playing in game? That was Senna. That was the Senna game. Okay, thank you, Lorm. I was like, that was the support Senna, the 43k damage. You're right. He had 43k damage in that game. That was absolutely absurd. Great performance out of him. I think that bot lane for C9 is a lot of what we point to when we talk about what will be kind of the anchoring element to a C9 roster that's undergone a couple of very significant changes in the solo lanes. Yes, we have big expectations for Perkz, and maybe he's finally living up to those, still wanting a little bit more out of Fudge. But either way, with that victory, Cloud9, they've earned their spot in our lock-in finals this Sunday. They'll be facing off, of course, against the winners of Evil Geniuses and Team Liquid. They're playing tomorrow. Hi, I want to get you in here on your thoughts on that matchup. We heard Sven say that he believes it'll beat Team Liquid. I think most of the community would back that assumption. But I don't think that Evil Geniuses should be underrated, as maybe C9 was in some ways coming into today.
For sure. I mean, it's really hard to vote for EG because it's pretty clear, I would say, in most people's eyes that they are the underdog. That doesn't mean that they cannot win. It just means that they're less likely to win. And kind of following with what Sven said, it feels like Team Liquid has multiple avenues of ways to win due to their skill levels in each lane that they play. It's really hard to vote against them. Like, they spent a lot of money to get the best players in almost all those roles that they have. So it's like, I'm not betting versus them. I got my money on Team Liquid, so.
Mark, I'm going to assume as much that you're also in the Team Liquid camp.
Yeah, I am firmly in the 3-0 Team Liquid camp, but I don't want that to make it sound like there's no chance for EG because they actually have looked really good over the course of the tournament so far. They have legit carries in all 3 lanes right now, and Ignar and Svenskeren are playing incredible. But to High's point, it does feel like you start going lane by lane by lane, and you're like, oh, that's an advantage for TL, and that's probably an advantage for TL, and that's probably an advantage. And like at that point, you start relying on synergy and teamwork and comps and all this stuff. But it's still kind of like an argument uphill.
Yeah, understanding that today there was definitely a bit of a ramp up for Cloud9, I'll remind everyone about the conversation that was happening between the 2 groups during the group stage itself, that most people were looking at 100 Thieves and TL as the definitive top 2 teams and favorites for the tournament, while the question was really how good is EG as they're not being challenged. Well, guess what? Team from the same group, as EG just came out on top in the semifinals. So, Lorm, I think that's something that's got to be considered here when we actually haven't seen the 2 groups crossplay until today.
Right. So EG, I don't want anybody to sleep on EG because they're not a group of 5 bums. They've got a bunch of good players. I think that what we heard in Sven's interview is that Jizuke has some wild champions that he can pick out that can catch people off guard. And if with that, you can kind of ride the momentum of the series. So we'll have to see what Jizuke pulls out. But I'm more interested in seeing Impact versus Alphari. I think those are probably the 2 best top laners in the league right now, although you could make an argument for Someday. And I think with both of them being probably the cream of the crop of their teams, they're probably the biggest focus of both of them. I can't wait to see. Actually, I can't say that because Core JJ, the perfect human, is on Team Liquid. Yeah. I forgot about Core JJ for a second. I can't believe it.
Oh no, the point's falling apart. Abort!
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, guys. Show's over.
Don't worry, Lorm. I got you. We got 5 games today. We're hoping for 5 more tomorrow before our finals of the lock-in tournament. It's Cloud9 that moves on. It's EG or Team Liquid that will challenge them, but that's going to do it for us here tonight. So now on behalf of myself, the cast of the entire remote broadcast crew, thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more LCS. Stay healthy, stay safe, be good to each other, and good night.